Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So to be honest, I wasn't planning on making a video like this because it is basically me sanding again. And majority of my body work videos is just me sanding, and it gets really repetitive. But this is a crucial part. So what I'm going to be doing is basically I'm going to be wet sanding the car. After that, we're going to be buffing it out with a wool pad, and then we're going to be finishing that off with a foam pad and a polish. But basically, I'll show you guys what the car is like right now. I've already worked on it quite a bit because I honestly wasn't planning on doing a video, but decided, you know what? I'll show you guys what I'm doing so you guys can see me in action, working on the car and seeing the finish that comes out afterwards. Because it does look pretty nice after it comes out. I've buffed some parts already, so let me show you guys. All right, so you notice all the wool bits on the hood and stuff. I have to clean that off later. A wool pad really does put out a lot of these little bits and stuff. And in my garage, it's really dusty right now because of the compound. I'm only doing some of the compound stage right now, but I got out a lot of the scratches on the hood. You can see it's pretty shiny. And it is quite level, I believe. I sanded the whole thing down so that there is not a lot of orange peel on there. And you see I put in my whole front end already, except for the bumper, because I was cleaning the radiator. So I didn't want to put the front bumper on because I need access to that. And I might be replacing the hoses for the washer fluid. So it's better to have it off because I don't want to be taking it off again. And these are my brand new clear corners. It looks pretty good. So the fenders are on. This fender still needs to be sanded. The door needs to be sanded. This, you see, it's sanded. It's all dull, but it's flat. But you notice like some of the peel is there. It doesn't really matter if it's all the way up to the edge. It's just that I want a majority of the visible surfaces to be pretty flat. So I think I still got to go back around here and sand that down. But for the most part, it's pretty flat. You really want it to be this flatness, not like this. This is like orange peel, right? But when you buff it out, it's going to have some sort of peel still show through. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm not sanding the gas cap because that is already sanded before, and I just need to buff it essentially. It's buffed once. I just need to buff it again. So what I've been doing is I've also been using a IPA wipe just to wipe down the surface as I'm buffing because it does get quite dusty and the polish and stuff does stick on. So this side as well needs to be really like buffed out and sanded. You could see kind of like the reflection. It's really peely. So I'm going to try and get that out. Well, at least as much as possible. But for the most part, it's coming along. I mean, after this whole buffing stage and everything, the exterior of the car will be perfect or close to perfect. And that's basically it. Yeah, so we're just going to get to work now. I'll show you guys what I'm going to be doing. All right, so we're going to be sanding the door. I'm just going to go through some of the process with you guys. I'm going to be using some wet sandpaper. This is 1500 grit. So we want to wet it. You can use some, I guess, use brand new sandpaper. This one's been used a few times already, but it's still good. So what you want to do is you want to wet it, and you want to spray it and clean off the sandpaper. You don't want any specks of stuff in the sandpaper because you're just going to rub it right into the paint and it gives you a deeper scratch, and that's not what you want. You want it just to be 1500 scratch. All right. So next, we're just going to basically spray the panel, certain areas, and just start sanding, like so. So as you're sanding, you could actually feel the orange peel, like as it's working, because you have to also listen to it. It actually makes a sound as you're sanding. So you don't want to sand all the way to the edge. Just close to it. And you'll start seeing it get white. Now I would do like an area at a time, like a small section at a time. Then you wipe it off. You gotta wait for it to dry, but what I like to do is I just blow on it. If you have compressed air, perfect. You could blow it. I was using it, but there's a hole in my hose in the compressor, so it's not holding the air properly. So I'll take you guys up close, just to have a look. So you can see that, that's all the orange peel. And this is just like little dirt nibs and stuff. It's basically gotta sand all this so that it ends up being flat like that. That's orange peel too on the edge, but you know, you don't wanna get too close to the edge. Basically, yeah, I'm going to finish this panel up and I'll show you guys afterwards. All right guys, so this is what it looks like once it's all sanded down. You know that I didn't sand this middle part because the molding is going to cover it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All it matters is whatever you can physically see. So there's certain areas that's not perfectly sanded that still has some I guess orange peel, but you know, it's okay. It's not meant to be completely perfectly flat, but this took a while. It took a couple hours just to sand this down. This is all sanded down 1500. I mean, it probably would have been faster if I cut it with a you know, coarser sandpaper, but that's more chance of burning through. And the polish said it could buff out 1500 scratches, so I only start with 1500, or you know, I go with a finer paper. Usually I start with around 2000 and then move down to 1500 if I have to cut it really deep. But this looks pretty good. I could just buff all this out and it should be pretty flat. It's gonna have to sand down the fender next. And then I have the passenger side to do as well. So still quite a bit of work. All right guys, so a couple days of sanding went into this. You can see that it is quite flat now. The whole car is sanded except for the front bumper, which is still upstairs. Everything else is sanded. It's all flat. Give you a little close up here. You notice no peel. That's pretty much what I want. For the bumper, you notice there's a lot of peel in this edge down back here. I try to sand it as close to that edge as I can. I really can't get all the way back there because I need to pull the bumper off to buff it. And I'm not gonna pull the bumper off because I already put it on and I put all the rubber panels and all that stuff back already. So I sand it as close to this edge as I can. So I'm just buffing up to here. Hoping that I could get up to there. You won't notice this. Well, you would notice it if you're looking for it, but you know, it's not too noticeable anyways with the orange peel. This side is also all nice and flat. This door is shiny because I've already sanded it, but there's obviously holograms and all that crap on here, so I'm gonna have to buff it some more. Like at least the 2 stages, but everything else is sanded. I don't need to do the hood because I've already done that. I've done the roof, but we're ready for the next stage. So the next step is to use a cutting compound and buff out the dull sanded clear coat. I used Meguiar's M105, but later switched to M100 because I ran out of M105. M100 works way better. All right guys, so this is after the first step, using the wool buffing pad, and I've gotten out all the scratches. It's nice and clear again and shiny. So it's still not shiny enough. So what I'm going to be doing is now using the M205 and a DA polisher, and I'm going to polish up this area. So I'm going to be doing that for basically each panel. As I finish the panel with the compound, I'm going to go over it with a polish and vice versa until I get the whole car done. So this is how it looks like so far. Alright guys, so this is just the first couple passes here. And you can already see a significant improvement. It's really nice and glossy. Hard to focus, but it is compared to the other areas. So I'm just gonna work at this. I'll show you guys once I'm done. So after polishing, it's best to give the car a good wash to clean off all the polish dust and splatter with a wax-free soap. Here it is after washing it. All right, guys, so a lot of work has gone into the car. You know, I've been wet sanding and then polishing. So it's looking really good. Let me show you guys the results so far. So I've got my Honda badge back. I don't have my front bumper because that's not done yet. But the paint is looking nice and smooth and shiny. It is looking really good. But yeah, this is it. Basically, I've kind of polished everything out. Yeah, I've got my badges back on as well. I haven't put back on the Honda badge here yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to. Let me know what you guys think, if I should or shouldn't. It kind of looks a little empty without a badge there because the SI is there. But, you know, it is what it is. Over here, this side molding is not on yet because 3 out of the 4 clips have broken. So I'm still waiting for those to arrive so that I can replace them. But it is looking good. There's a few little things that I kind of messed up on. I mean, there was I guess a fisheye over here. And it left like a dimple. So it kind of looks like it's bubbling rust, but it's not. It's actually just a fisheye that kind of made a little ring. And it was actually a white speck there because of the primer. So, and I buffed it out and it was all nice and smooth, but it had like the ring and the little dot for the white. But I took some paint that I had left over and just dabbed it with a brush. So it hides it a little bit better. But overall, the car is really shiny. Under this light, you can't really see any of the holograms, but there are holograms on the roof and on the hood. So it's there. I just have to work at it a little bit more, but I'll probably spend some time on it, maybe on the winters or something like that to work on it. But probably not going to do it anymore. I'm tired of buffing. But that's basically it. I know this video pretty much didn't show much of how to do this and that, but you know, it just kind of gives you guys a general idea of how much work is involved when you basically cut and paint correct the whole car. And it was a lot of work. I mean, I went through the whole car and buffed everything. But the only thing that's beneficial about doing that is you see every little imperfection because you're going like at every single area, you're looking at it in a detailed look, right? So that's basically it. I still have the front bumper to do, which I'll do another day because I have to do some other stuff with the front bumper off. But anyways, guys, that's basically it for this video. So if you haven't already, please comment, like, and subscribe, and maybe share my videos. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.